I mean, who wins 5 Grammys off just one song? I mean, that is a pretty crazy moment.
He said that this is the last project under the name The Weeknd, but people are never going to stop calling him The Weeknd. So I don't know how that's going to work out for him, but best wishes.
I think it's our first time, kind of a unique setup on this show for the first time. I've never had the pleasure of doing it with the esteemed Regina Cho. If y'all remember, she really was one of the ones killing it. Y'all both were on the discussion last year about the hottest female rappers of 2024. She is back with us in 2025. Miss Regina, how you feeling?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to pod with you. I feel like we haven't had an in-depth conversation in a really long time. I'm so honored to be back here and basically be the designated sixth man of the pod now. I really hold that to a high regard. Thank you guys for tapping me in for this episode, and I'm really excited to get back into it.
That is a title we do not give out lightly.
He's like, we didn't even give you that title,
but you know what? Name it, claim it. That's how we do the things around here. Kyle, of course, how you feeling today, man?
I'm feeling great. You know, victory feels very, very sweet.
Victory feels very, very sweet.
Very, very sweet.
Well, okay, well, we will get to specifically what that sweet part is in just a moment. Of course, first thing we're gonna do is talk about Music's Big Night last Sunday, Grammy Awards, 67th annual showdown. I think generally a lot of people seem to have a very positive reception to the show. I think
That was excellent.
Yeah, I mean, we'll go through some of the winners, some of the big highlights in a moment. But first, we're actually going to run the tape back to something that really had the internet shaking that you did not see on the show. It was a red carpet incident. And pretty much red carpet went flawless except for this one thing.
And it won't be Bianca's dress.
It was not Bianca. I literally was just thinking, like, on a night where that all went down, that wasn't even the most. We kind of just all,
we said, all right,
been there, Antics. Done that, okay. But no, it was not Bianca's dress. What really had people in a tizzy was an Associated Press interview that was conducted with the legend, the icon, Babyface, right there on the Grammys red carpet. 2 AP reporters were speaking with him. One of the reporters noticed that Chappell Roan was behind. It maybe seemed like she was possibly going to miss the opportunity and be past AP on the carpet. So, however innocently the reporter went out there, called for Chappell. Babyface kind of noticed the situation, and he said, y'all got it. And
go do that.
Go do that.
Go do that. My bad. I misquoted Babyface. Go do that. Handed the mic back, and social media was in an uproar that Babyface got snubbed really for that moment. Look, we've all been on the frenzy of it. We do want to mention that she apologized afterwards at the end of the carpet. She made a point to say, the red carpet's a frenzy. It's kind of this crazy back and forth. Caught up in the moment with no disrespect. Said she was a big Babyface fan.
Allegedly.
I'm not going. I don't want to do an Apple Music Library check on nobody. I'll take her at her word. But did apologize, but people were not satisfied with that.
Yeah, so, the backlash was so crazy that they had to apologize like immediately. Not even after the show or the day after. They had to fix it ASAP. That's how bad the backlash was.
And the Associated Press tweeted out an apology on their own account as well as this reporter. This went crazy. Okay, to her point about red carpets being crazy and a frenzy and this and that, and of course Chappell's one of the biggest nominated stars of that night. Are we being too hard on the reporter for what seems like a pretty, innocent kind of flub in the moment?
It's not like she did it with ill intent, like she didn't like Babyface and does not respect. Like, I get that. And, as a journalist myself, I don't want her career to end. I don't want her to go broke. Like, I don't want to, everyone's bringing her down. Everyone's spamming her comments, all that. I don't think that's the solution. But I do think the backlash was well-deserved because I don't know. I understand the hecticness of the red carpet. I know things happen in a split second, but there was just like so many other ways you could have navigated that. And again, I know she didn't mean it, but this is a very big learning moment for her. Yeah, for sure.
Huge, because people are calling for her to be fired. She did have to deactivate her X account over the weekend. Yeah, if you go look, people are tagging her, and they, obviously she has a profile as a journalist, and you go and it's, can't be found now. So she's had to go into social media hiding. So Kyle, is it like maybe knowing that?
Kyle looks like he's not about to give anybody grace.
It's like part of me feels that that more discussion should also be given to the producer. that was working with her in that clip, you can see her get tapped on the shoulder to then nudge and like get Chapel. So it seems like Chapel was probably like a priority interview for AP at the time, and they needed that. So I don't want to put the onus on her to be like she was the only one. It seemed like it was a team effort to kind of get Chapel and get out of the babyface conversation. But even then, I think it really speaks to a bigger issue of the kinds of journalists that we have on these carpets. Because I'm not wholly convinced that a black journalist would have treated him the same way. I'm not wholly convinced that a journalist who has a bit more of an intimate relationship with R&B would have treated him the same way on that carpet. I'm not sure that if it wasn't Babyface, but it was a white legend or someone like that they would have been treated that way, because to shut down an interview mid-conversation is nuts. I've been on these carpets. I know how hectic it is. I don't think I have ever had the urge to shut down an interview mid-conversation. Like, yelling? It's crazy.
While he's speaking.
Yelling past him, like, there was a level of, there was a lack of tact there that I don't even think is, like, indicative of, like, her journalistic skills. It was more just, like, manners. Like, let's not do that. Let's have a baseline level of respect for everybody on the carpet, whether or not you yourself are a massive fan, whether or not they're a priority get for your publication. They're on the carpet. And at the time of the interview, only Babyface was a Grammy winner in that situation. Chapel hadn't even won her Grammy yet. Like, that is nuts on the carpet to go about it in that way. It made me really, really sad. It made me really, really sad because I also do think that I think about all the black publications and black press members who don't even get opportunities to go to these kinds of events or to have a presence there, who would kill to have 30 seconds with Babyface. And you get time and you essentially brush him off for why? And you were going to get Chapel. You're AP News. Come on.
And he's like one of, when you really think about it, one of the only living legends left of his caliber. The stories that he holds, like the things that he has witnessed, the things that he has influenced. It's so crazy. It's almost as if like they didn't appreciate what they had right in front of them. I don't know. I know he needs no introduction. He's one of the most influential people in music. But even if, I know you were just saying this too, Kyle, but like even if it wasn't Babyface, I know this blew up because of the magnitude of his stardom. But even if it wasn't Babyface, let's say it was like some no-name artist that was just walking and you were just talking to them, you still don't do that in the middle of an interview. So
that's the big
that's why when you said manners, like a light bulb went on. I was like, yeah, it's just basically about manners. And I know she apologized. And again, I don't want her to get like so insanely crucified to where it derails her entire career. You know, people learn. But oh my gosh, rewatching that video back was really heartbreaking because you could tell he's just like, oh, okay, damn.
So that was really the big commotion on the pre-show. Let's jump into the actual show itself. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Winner's list is, you know,
esteemed.
It's heavy.
Stacked.
It's a heavy set. Let's start, of course, with what the big headline was for a lot of people. Last award of the night, first time winner. It almost feels weird to even like say this sentence. Beyonce has a Grammy Award for Album of the Year.
Woo! We witnessed history.
Long ass time coming.
What?
Which makes no sense because she's, prior to this recent show, she had the most. Oh, like she had the most Grammys of all time, right?
Yeah.
So
32
for her,
walking into the ceremony.
For her to have the most Grammys of all time, but to never have Album of the Year, like how does that even mathematically make sense? I don't know. It was crazy, but she finally got it.
Well, it has not made sense to a lot of people for a long time. Certainly that of course is the big discussion that's been, you know, sort of surrounding any Beyonce release in the past, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. As soon as it comes out, is it going to be the one? Is it going to be the one? Is it going to be the one? And, I guess the pressure is finally off, obviously. She seemed very shocked herself to win. You saw the acceptance speech. She referenced that it had been,
many years.
Many years. So, we've seen sort of hints. And even on this album, Cowboy Carter itself, she mentions,
T.Y. I ain't win.
Yeah, it gives a little nod to that.
I have a question. Do you guys think she was, the infamous meme when she won, when Cowboy Carter won for country album, and then when she was like shocked? Do you think she was like genuinely surprised or no?
Oh, hell yeah.
100%.
Oh, really? Okay.
100%.
Because I thought so too, but people were like, oh, she has such good acting skills. Go ahead, girl, act.
That I wouldn't even say because I was like, y'all don't like Beyonce's acting skills.
Yeah, so why are you saying she's like, yeah.
But I think she was genuinely surprised. I mean, one, because, you're literally making history in that moment. Like, first black woman to win Best Country Album. No one has ever done that before. but also it wasn't necessarily a shoo-in.
No.
This was met with a lot of pushback from different members of the community, and she didn't sweep the country category. She only won country duo group. She lost country solo performance. She lost country song. It wasn't really a given who was going to win. It could have been Chris. It could have been Casey. They could have named any of those names, really, and it would have made sense. So I think when they finally did read out Cowboy Carter's name for Best Country Album, she was genuinely shocked. I think she was also as shocked when she won Album of the Year, because we normally get a well put together speech from Beyonce, but it was pretty short and sweet with this one. It was almost like she was genuinely in a state of like, oh, holy shit.
I wasn't expecting
it's
this.
me. You said my name and my album title. But it was such a beautiful moment, you know, as a longtime fan, a lifelong fan of B, but also someone who has really been just utterly confused as to how she has not won this award yet. I think it was a combination of the strength of the record, obviously the converging narratives that she had going into this race, also the specific album she was up against. I think some vote splits definitely helped her and helped in her favor when it came down to the final vote tallies. But it's beautiful that she finally has this. I still think it's insane that this is only her second General Field Grammy ever. Like you were saying before, 35 wins now, and you've only won the General Field twice. Single Lady Song of the Year, and now Cowboy Carter Album of the Year.
That's
never
why...
even won Record of the Year, and it's just like, holy shit.
What record you giving Beyonce Record of the Year for?
Crazy in Love.
Everything.
Crazy in Love. That was the first time I ever learned about who Coldplay was. Because Coldplay,
it was Clocks, right?
Clocks won Record of the Year back.
Oh my
in,
goodness.
Way back when, and I was like, oh, what is Coldplay? Like, who is Coldplay?
Yeah.
Shout out Coldplay, Record of the Year winners.
I don't know. I've been speaking with people about this, and they were like, I was like, oh, did you enjoy the show? And they were like, yeah, you know, we love that Beyonce won, but they felt, this is them, this is not me. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed her win. They felt like they couldn't fully enjoy it because it felt like a here damn moment. Like here's your award. And so I want to ask you guys, like, what do you guys think? Do you guys think Jay-Z's speech the year prior had a lot to do with this or no? Because me personally, I feel like, you know, I don't know if Jay-Z's speech that had that much of an impact and they did it just because of him, because they've played in his face before. So it's not like his words are what made them do this, in my opinion. But a lot of people are saying otherwise. They're saying like, oh, they don't want to piss off Jay-Z again. What do you guys think?
I think that's a bunch of bullshit, to be completely honest.
Same.
I think
what?
honestly the reverse would have happened. I expected the reverse to happen.
That to piss him off even more.
Because he did that. Like, we give you the special award, you know, the Global Impact Award, and you spend your speech basically lambasting us. I'm expecting like 0 for 11 next year for Cowboy Carter. I'm not expecting Album of the Year at all. I think it really was, she was able to pull from a lot of different voter bases that she did not have access to before. On her previous runs, she was not going to get a single country voter. Like, now she has at least some of those voters in her back pocket, and she was the only country-adjacent album nominated that year. That's who that block is going to rally around. Then you have the pop.
I don't know if it's even.
Then you have the pop. Am I not yet?
Okay.
Then you got the pop vote being split like 5 different ways. That's going to really hurt all those people who are competing in the pop categories together. Jacob and Andre are not John Batiste. They're not going to, you know, sweep their genre categories and then take home the big ones. That did not happen this year.
Shout out to John.
So it all makes sense this year. I do think that it would be a lie to be like there was no impact of the narrative of her always losing the award. Like, that definitely played a part of people being like, damn, we want to see her win this one. But I wrote this in my op-ed, you know, the day after the Grammys came out, that even if that was an element of the win, which is an element of many wins across these major award shows, I think of Leo winning for The Revenant or Scorsese winning for The Departed, where it was like, damn, you should have gotten this a while ago. But this is also good work, which I think is what I really want to stress, is that, like, Cowboy Carter itself is still a worthy fucking project of Album of the Year. It was the best and most brilliant album in that category. And it deserved the win, whether or not it was her first Album of the Year nomination, her 6th one, her 50th one. It's a strong-ass body of work. And it's innovative, it's ambitious, and it's good. And I really want that to be the main takeaway, but that's hard to do when your husband gave a speech like that last year. Which is why I was so pissed when he gave that speech, because I knew that no matter what project she put out, it would always cloud it, because that's what we do in our society. Like, we're going to hold Jay-Z's words over her win because we don't want to give her the full credit of her win. It's an easy way to just obfuscate that, and it's annoying. But I really implore people, just go spin the record. You will understand why
Why
she
it
won by the end of the first song. Promise you.
And it changed so many lives. But I just want to give a quick shout out. Oh my gosh, shout out to our guy Shabuzi. He should have left with something.
Should have left with something.
Should have left with something. But hey,
Yeah.
Country Solo was yours, bro.
so many contenders. You know, what are you going to do? This happens every year at the Grammys. You can't always get everything that you want because there's so many worthy contenders. Also, shout out to Billie Eilish. She didn't leave with any awards, right? Or
No,
did
she
she
went
just
home
leave?
empty-handed
Billie,
also.
Taylor.
And I
feel
love
crazy,
that record.
but I know.
Chaperone only winning one. There were a lot of people who felt like
It was very spread of the wealth
there
this
was,
year.
you know, some people missing. You cannot leave with everything you want.
But somebody did.
Unless you are Kendrick Lamar, in which case you left with everything and more. Kendrick Lamar, biggest winner of the night. 5 new Grammys for him. That's best rap song, rap performance, which most people expected. Best music video, song of the year, and record of the year. That is a clean sweep, 5 for 5. No album needed. I mean, who wins five Grammys off just one song? I mean, that is a pretty crazy ass moment. And speaking of crazy ass moments, that record of the year win, I believe, was the first one Miley Cyrus presented it. So that was the first time we saw Kendrick on stage that night. Mm-hmm. Boy,
they played the song.
You know, because we have seen Not Like Us in several pockets. Of course, the athletes have adopted it.
Of course.
You know, you've seen individuals talk about it and praise it. But we really never saw the music community as a recording academy group, as, you know, the peers and the esteemed and the label executives and the, you know, publicists and the managers and
the people up top.
This crew, the C-suites, singing out there word for word.
Biggest smiles
bar
on
for
their
bar.
faces. You got Beyonce with the little church clap.
I mean,
you got
Beyonce-
Blue rapping in the corner. Taylor
Taylor,
busting it down in the
Oh
back.
my gosh, shout out to
Like,
Taylor.
listen,
Yo. Wait, hold on.
everybody.
Just a quick little thing we have to throw in here while we mention Taylor. Like, did you guys see when Janelle Monáe threw her jacket and Taylor caught it? She was like,
Yo, Taylor Swift was having the time of her life.
Love Taylor.
I love her at
Really-
award shows.
Love her at award
Yeah.
show.
But
I mean-
what like stood out to me was, you know, record of the year, you said, when he came up to accept that award. But what was funny to me was record of the year, the difference between record of the year and song of the year. Record of the year is more about the overall, you know, the beat, the production, the performance, the composition, all that stuff. So it makes sense to me why Not Like Us won record of the year. But what got me was, no, he won that. That wasn't enough. He won song of the year, which is about the songwriting. So the voters were like, oh, I like the words too. So I don't know. I was like, damn, that is so crazy, the impact that this song had. I know it's the biggest song of the year, but I genuinely didn't expect him to sweep. I expected him to win maybe like 1 or 2, especially in the rap categories themselves. But to have both of them, oh my God, were you guys expecting it?
Well, let me give a shout out to somebody who apparently was expecting it. This is the part where, you know, we gotta pull our man off IR, illness reserve. Carl Lamar, because Carl was out there tweeting and talking about it, and we were chatting on Sunday, mentioning that he said on this very show last week when we did the Grammy preview that he said Kendrick was going to win 5 awards.
Oh my God.
He
Yeah,
did
he
say
did. He
that.
called it.
He
He called it.
did say that.
Take a look.
Shout out to Mr. Kendrick Lamar, 7 nominations. I think the brother's going to take home 5.
Shout out to Carl Lamar on
That is
illness
crazy.
reserve this week. Now, obviously, Not Like Us was always going to be a big historic thing. We already saw what its impact was on the charts. We saw the culture that took over. But now with this extra level that, as was emphasized so many times during the show, that the over 13,000 members of the they were trying to say, don't come for us. It wasn't a back room. It wasn't conclave. It wasn't 4 or 5 people.
Allegedly.
13,000 people eligible to vote for this. And they decided that Not Like Us was their record and song of the year. Now, like, what does that do to the legacy of the song now? Like, how much further does it really just enshrine itself
I mean, it just
among
really
everybody?
emphasizes it as like it's in a class of its own. There is no other song that has this specific combination of elements. Like, it's critically acclaimed. We love it. It's commercially successful. 5 Grammys. But it also is a fucking KO punch in a diss battle. Like, this is crazy. This has never happened before, not at this level. So, like, I can't think of any other comparison. I think that this sweep was awesome to watch. I mean, Kendrick, whenever he's nominated at the Grammys, is pretty much a pseudo sweep waiting to happen. But this one was still like, whoa, your first General Field Grammys. This is kind of crazy. It's Not Like Us. But also, and I've been saying this for the past couple episodes, eternally grateful to Not Like Us for now not having This Is America as the only hip hop song to win record or song of the year. I'm so grateful because it's a shitty ass fucking song and Not Like Us is so much better. So thank you, Kendrick.
This Is America. I don't know. When I looked at Kendrick, there's a lot going on. The impact. He's coming off a Rap Eve win. He swept at the Grammys, and now he is going to have a headlining performance at the Super Bowl. So there's just a lot going on with him. I don't think we've ever witnessed anything like this. And the award was presented to him by Diana Ross. He was wearing a freaking Canadian tuxedo. Like, there's a lot going on.
The Canadian tux. I didn't, didn't even touch that. That's crazy.
But I don't know. Watching him, this is just me assuming maybe he's good at hiding things. But when he went up there to accept his awards, he looked so relaxed and happy.
Calm, right?
He was glowing. He just looked so, he's like, what's up with it? Like, he was just so smooth. It didn't even seem like this fazed him. I don't know. He seems to be in a good mind state. And that is very, very scary leading up to the Super Bowl because he's just going to go insane. Oh my God. When you feel like you're on top of the world, oh my God, I don't even know what he has in store. But that's crazy.
Jesus.
Yeah, we'll definitely see what K-Dot has planned. And, of course, people, given the emphasis now, they still wonder, it's Not Like Us. It only builds the anticipation more for, is that song going to make an appearance somehow? Is it going to be, obviously, an instrumental kind of vibe? Is he going to do the whole thing? But coming off Record of the Year win, that is going to be a statement to perform the Record of the Year, just a few days later on the biggest audience in television. Mm-hmm. Other rap categories we want to get to, of course, huge win for Doechii, taking home Best Rap Album for Alligator Bites, Never Heal. Starting off the show, strong, Cardi B presenting the award, the last woman to win that award back for Invasion of Privacy. Thoughts on Doechii's win? I know we called that last week when we were all sort of in agreement that it felt like Doechii was the front runner for that category. Once again, Unfiltered gets it right.
The Doechii win made me feel like how Victoria's wins made me feel last year. It made me feel how Megan's wins made me feel in 2020. Like, people who have been working their asses off for such a long time, who have been told no expressly and publicly for such a long time, that their sound or their vision was not going to work, that people weren't going to get it. And to see that embrace, see their peers embrace them, and see her shut down the stage like she did, and really prove why she had the best rap album in that category. Like, that was one of those beautiful, priceless Grammy moments that I'm so happy that a dark-skinned woman got to have that on the national stage. Like, that is something that I don't get to see often, and I hope I get to see a lot more of after Doechii shut it down.
Regina, I don't know about you, but I thought Doechii really, from the jump, the first award speech of the night, probably the best speech of the night.
Yeah.
Yes, it literally left an impact. That's a speech that you're gonna remember where you were when you heard that. Mm-hmm. When she was like, "If you look like me, I'm telling you that you can do it," and that, I know that hit home for so many people. And this award is so impactful because it really reminds you that I know we're on Billboard Unfiltered right now, but sales aren't everything. I believe her.
Ooh, no.
Okay.
What?
Okay, but we literally have an example right now where she sold, I believe, it debuted at 11K, her debut week, and that's not massive for a rap album. And she still won Best Rap Album at the Grammys. And I love that it really highlighted her journey, because when she won, I was on Twitter, of course, but people kept resurfacing the screenshot of her YouTube channel of her being like, 5 years ago, she was like, there's a paper trail of how amazing her journey has been. She was like, guys, I got fired from my job today. She's just vlogging, and she's like, well, honestly, thank God, because now I'm going to really pursue this rap thing. And look at her now. I just love a full circle moment. And I love that you brought up Victoria Monet, because I fully agree. When she won Best New Artist last year, I will never forget that moment. They deserve it. They've been grinding for so long, and that was one of the best moments of the night for sure. And what a night she had with a stellar performance. Oh, just amazing. Couldn't have gone better.
Yeah, shout out to Doechii. We'll get to the performance in a second. Also want to give a shout out to Rhapsody in the rap category.
Oh my gosh.
First Grammy.
So as someone who's been on that same circuit, hustling and grinding for a while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very glad to see her get the win for Best Rap Duo Group Performance with Erykah Badu. Mm-hmm. So shout out to Badu up there as well. Really, I think a full slate of rap winners that a lot of people will be very, very happy with. Shout out in the R&B category, Chris Brown winning his second Grammy Award of his entire career.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Also in Best R&B Album. So
Unfiltered prediction as well. That's shout out to Damien.
Yeah, he called that one
you
for
guys are killing it.
Best R&B Album for 1111 Deluxe. Also Money Long, Best R&B Performance for Made for Me.
Shout out Soul Train.
Live from BET. Come on, live version right there. And Money actually showing up on the pre-show to perform the song right before she won. So, a lot of artists who are nominated for those big awards really wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
So the fact that, I think she really goes to show
performed,
that there was no stage
showed up
that
to accept.
Casey was at the pre-show.
I really liked that.
Someone who would won Album of the Year before
Right.
coming back to the pre-show, that's pretty
You don't see
rare.
that
So
often.
a lot of folks to that point, they are wanting to make sure that they're there for that moment.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, shout out to both of them as well for winning some of the R&B fields right there.
Anderson .Paak too was at the pre-show to accept as well.
Oh, you did. That's right, because
Yeah,
he got the tie with Avery Sunshine for progressive R&B. So, make note that people will show up for these things. I mean, it's the Grammys.
It's the Grammys.
All right, quick note before we pivot away from the Grammys. Favorite performance of the night.
Ooh.
Speaking of performances that
Don't do
there
this.
were. Look, y'all were up here,
no,
y'all were up here
no.
talking about that. We can.
I mean, it's got to be Doechii, but I loved Ray.
Oh my God, I
Jesus
was gonna say
Christ,
No,
she was killer.
Well, I guess we could cheat and say we just love the Best New Artist medley.
Yeah, we can't say that.
We could say that because genuinely, I'm immediately, literally, you're in my head. I immediately went to Doechii, but I was like, Ray, that orchestra moment with the bare feet, oh my God.
with the bare feet.
Just
shout out,
the never-ending note.
shout out,
oh,
no shoe manufacturer. Shout
That's
out,
a
no
diva
sponsor.
right there. I like that.
I don't know, but shout out to my girl, Sabrina Carpenter. I love her.
Yeah, Sabrina,
And
she
had,
knows
the
how to perform.
And she
comedic
tapped.
element to it.
Shout out Tap. I love Tap.
Someone's getting fired.
Yes.
Yes,
There was a
yes,
lot of
yes.
yeah.
And she
Also,
executed
shout out
perfectly.
Gaga and Bruno. Their California Dreaming cover was gorgeous.
Wasn't that nice?
Yes,
That was
Wasn't that nice?
a beautiful performance.
Yeah.
I want to give a quick shout out to Charlie's performance also.
Oh my God.
I loved it. I know you had thoughts, but
Wait, what
I
are your
think
thoughts? Share with me.
I
don't know
think
them.
that medley really just got across what Brat was.
Yeah.
Really just captured what I felt like when I was at Sweat Tour, what I feel like when I'm hearing this album outside. It was the perfect representation of it, and honestly probably one of the best and most energetic I've seen Charlie on stage in a minute. I was happy she got to close the show, have that moment for herself. I wish she got to accept N word on the stage as well, but
Yeah,
shout out
she won-
Charlie. 3.
She won 3 awards.
Recording
Okay.
package,
recording
dance
pa-
pop, recording and dance album.
Yeah, I saw the dance category. Definitely shout out to Charlie. I mean, I know she's talked about how she thought
That would
Grammys were never going to
happen.
happen, so for her to capitalize on this moment.
I never
get
thought
on
I'd
that
hear
big
that kind of
telecast.
music on the Grammy stage for real. You want to guess the color of my underwear.
Speaking of that, I mean, shout out to Charlie. I genuinely, I love the performance, but I saw a tweet that made me laugh. It was like, yo, having Diana Ross witness Brat is crazy.
Yeah,
But I mean,
This is how I felt when Patti
think of-
LaBelle
these are
referenced
the times,
Brad at the
Diana.
DNC. I was like, why does Patti LaBelle know what Brad is? This is not.
it's
you want
Charlie,
to talk
girl.
about impact? That's impact.
No,
Yes.
literally.
One last performance that nobody saw coming because literally no one knew this was going to happen. Of course, we're talking about the return of The Weeknd. Abel Tesfaye back on the Grammy stage after several year feud, not submitting his projects to the Grammys after not getting any nominations in the after hours blinding lights era. Harvey Mason Jr., CEO, introducing the performance, really pointing out that we're going to
Make it right.
Right. The Recording Academy is going to make better outreach and better efforts. And The Weeknd back on stage doing a medley, Cry For Me, Timeless with Playboy Cardi out there. What are your thoughts about The Weeknd's return?
I was just happy that I was actually surprised. These award shows love to do a surprise guest. Who's going to be here? And it's we never
It's
know.
the Black Keys.
Right. It's no one interested. And it's
yes.
but it's The Weeknd. I thought I would never see this happening again. I
Didn't even cross my mind that it
It's the
ever.
Chainsmokers.
I also was never expecting to ever see Playboy Cardi on the Grammy stage either. So that was a really cool moment to have both of them. Upon rewatching the performance, now that I got the hype out of my system, I wasn't loving it. I don't know if it was the best way to display those songs in particular. I think Cry For Me is a lot more explosive than what we were given in his performance there. I think that song deserved a better showcase specifically. But outside of that, I think it's dope that he's back. And I think it really is indicative that the Grammys have turned a corner. It was a 5-6 year stretch where it was damn, do we care about these anymore? Are the top line artists just going to walk away? Drake is no longer submitting. People stop showing up. Week is no longer submitting, but now it's we've reconciled. We're back. will this mean Hurry Up Tomorrow is like all over the nomination next year? Will he submit next year? We'll see. But it does feel like that, coupled with this year's winners results, coupled with this year's overall telecast, does feel like we're entering a new era of the recording academy.
Like we're back.
I know you waiting on somebody else to.
I am, but
Bad Bunny?
Make his or her way back to the Grammy graces.
but
we'll
we'll see. Maybe after Wicked Part 2, she'll come back.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Maybe.
The Weeknd performance made me think like, watching it, first of all, it was funny because people were like, if I send you a picture of the Weeknd, they're like, this means I'm not standing on business. I'm going back on my word. But
4-year boycott.
I just, when thinking about it, and I love music, I love the Grammys. Like, it showed that he had his beef with the Grammys, but it really exemplified, like, it doesn't have to be this way forever. Them snubbing Beyonce for so many years, but then giving her an award, the Weeknd being bad, but then coming back and literally performing. I think that really shows that there's really changes that are actually being made behind the scenes, and I love it because I don't want to hate the Grammys. In previous years I was also like, I understand why people didn't watch, but now we're back, so I'm very excited for this new era.
We ran down some of our favorite performances. Y'all head to the comments, let us know if we missed somebody, and if you agree with our picks. Who were your favorite performances from the Grammy Awards? Let us know in the comments below. Keep it on the Weeknd. He's in the middle of a big week for himself. Obviously, the new album is out, Hurry Up Tomorrow. Big features on there. We got Justice, we got Anita, we got Travis Scott, we got Florence and the Machine, Lana, his favorite, creative muse in a sense, almost maybe. The Star Girl, yeah. Giorgio Moroder, shout out Giorgio, and Playboi Carti, of course. So, big week for him. It looks like this album could really do some damage on the charts next week. Pretty much a lock at this point. Front runner for number one. Would be his 5th number one album on the Billboard 200.
Sheesh.
First, going back to After Hours back in 2020. Coming through. Looks like so far a really, really strong first week. Thoughts on the album? There's this big lead up. Obviously, we got the stadium tour going. We got, a double album. This is the end of the Weeknd name as we know it. So this is really a capstone on everything that he's given for the past decade and a half. What do y'all think about Hurry Up Tomorrow and how it sort of closes the entire saga of the Weeknd?
Oh, speaking of that, really quick, I know he said that this is the last project under the name The Weeknd. I don't know, because he can technically do that, release under another name, but people are never going to stop calling him The Weeknd. So I don't know how that's going to work out for him, but best wishes.
You had best wishes for that branding. Okay.
But that shit never works. I think it was just my first initial thoughts, because honestly, I haven't spent an extreme amount of time with it because it's only been a few days. I think it was a good way to marry what his day one fans have always been asking him. And that it could, I always understand when people are like, oh, your music's changed or whatever. I understand that point, but I understand artists genuinely evolving and their sound changing. It's a good way to marry what his day one fans wanted, but also what he has been doing for the past few years. That's the initial thought that I got from that album, and overall, I really like it.
All right. Brother K?
I loved it.
Okay. I never know. Because he always has an expression and a dramatic pause. And he hates it or loves it.
He was just quiet and nodding, and he was about to rip it apart.
No, I really, really do love this album.
He's like, I loved it.
I do.
Okay,
As someone who, kind of grew up alongside The Weeknd, has really been with him from the mixtapes on to this moment, it does feel like a really great swan song to the character of The Weeknd, and a really well thought out one. Like, I was picking up notes to all the different chapters of his career, all the different albums that he's put over the course of his career. I love that he was also able to make Brazilian funk work in his way. I feel like we've gotten some artists trying to do it, but it hasn't really worked.
It seemed genuine.
He really unlocked it for his lane here, and I love that sound. I actually wish we got 5 more songs sounding like that on the album, to be completely honest. But yeah, I need to stay with it a little bit more. I've given it 3 full listens, but I really enjoyed it. I just love that everything did seem very intentional, and it was a really well thought out goodbye. When you take this in terms of this is a trilogy with After Hours and On FM and now this one, this was not just a haphazard, this is the last one, I'm sick of being The Weeknd. He really did give us a nice concerted goodbye. I'm nervous about the film. Mostly because I didn't like The Idol, and I'm actually kind of weirded out that I feel like the movie might make me not like the album.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
So
I don't think that will happen because you already like the album.
But the association could,
the association,
Taint it?
like, yeah,
Right,
because
yeah.
apparently, like, I think the log line says, like, Wake Me Up is, like, a really key song in the movie. Like, it really is, like, this album is a pseudo soundtrack for the movie in a way. And I feel like if I don't like the movie enough, I might get sick of the album. But I hope that doesn't happen. But he hasn't given me much to work with in the past. So we'll see. But I'm rooting for him. Love Jenna Ortega. I feel she's going to kill it in that role, whatever that role is. But yeah.
Whatever she's in is gold. So.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder what an Abel Tesfaye, non-Weeknd.
And I think he's ready
does
to
that-
explore that.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's what I got from this most recent record, because as much as I did enjoy it, a lot of it is stuff that we've heard him sing about for the past 6 years. It's not that new.
Yeah.
But I think him finally shedding that character gives him the space, like, psychologically, to go different places in his art under a different name. I think you can kind of hear in his lyrics that he himself was feeling boxed into the character for a little bit towards the end. So this was like, let's kill it. So let's figure out what Abel sounds like. And I'm so intrigued. Like, I feel like it'd be really dope if Abel sounded like the complete opposite of The Weeknd.
What would
Whatever
be?
that sounds like.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
maybe
what we gotta
completely
find
analog
out.
instrumentation.
Yeah.
Like, that could be cool. Nothing digitized.
Man,
Straight acoustic.
straight acoustic.
Like Devil
would
May
be-
Cry, that song
Yeah.
from the Hunger Games soundtrack, was just him and guitar. Could sound like that.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm excited to
he's-
see.
He's got some options. It is funny when you look back at the trajectory of that career, like how it started from, the forefront of the alternative R&B scene, like, in the trenches down in
Definition of
Toronto,
enigma.
like the darkest, the
Yeah.
darkest.
Who is this guy?
Russell
What does he look
Balloons.
like?
And then then he sort of, jumps to this point where he becomes Max Martin's main collaborator. It's like a fascinating arc that
I'm a
you would have never,
star.
if someone would have told you in 2010 that, hey, this guy will be
Yeah.
topping the charts with Max Martin in less than a
Man,
decade.
you could have told me after Kissland, and I
It's-
still would have been like, no.
It's it's a crazy
That was a crazy
run.
jump, yeah.
Like, but yeah, to that point, I think there are all sides of that on this album.
Mm-hmm.
I probably am most gonna take away the first third of it, the
Yeah.
sort of energetic, sort of fueled up tracks. But yeah, I think if you have been traveling with The Weeknd this entire time, you do get all shades of him across
Shout
the
out to
22 tracks.
Baptized in Fear, one of his most well-written songs.
Speaking of The Weeknd.
Literally,
Y'all
this
see-
upcoming
look,
weekend.
That's right. Super Bowl halftime show coming up. Kendrick Lamar, of course, headlining. We know SZA's going to be there. The Luther Vandross account tweeted.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Like his estate account mentioned that there's going to be something with Luther going on. So,
Oh,
We getting a
gee,
hologram.
I
You
wonder
know,
why.
yo.
What could that be?
Luther hologram. I'm kind of here for it.
Kendrick can't have too many misses right now, but a Luther hologram
That would
might
definitely be a miss,
little
though.
in the,
A little much.
in the
That would
little
definitely be a
category.
miss.
So, yeah, obviously people are starting to wonder what will be on the set list, even beyond just Not Like Us. Curious to hear what you guys, if there is one song, it's probably going to be more hit-filled. So whether it's an obvious hit, whether it's a deep cut, what in the Kendrick catalog are you hoping he brings out or does in a special kind of way?
Okay, so I cheated. I have 3.
I was going to say, you got the set list? Breaking news.
Okay,
shit.
no, because I have 3. I'm sorry, I could not just narrow it down to 1. I'm sorry, I love Kendrick. So my prediction for the intro is if Pyrus and Crips all got along, they probably got me down by the end of the song.
Come on.
It seems like the whole city go against me every time I'm in the street. I say, but then they cut it there.
Ooh.
They go to something else. Okay, so my personal favorite, which I most likely will not happen, but I would love it if it did happen. You guys know Die Hard on
From
Mr.
Mr.
Morales
Morale, yeah.
with Blast and Amanda. I just personally love that song, and I feel like it's a fun song that would do well in a setting like that, but highly doubt it. And then the last one, I'm sorry, the undeniable one is Loyalty with Rihanna.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like Rihanna,
I couldn't pick
Rihanna
one.
shows up. Y'all be wishing for this. So every year they be wishing.
No, why not? Why? I feel
Why
like that.
not?
I feel like that could very well happen. Rihanna coming out just for that song. It could very well happen.
Okay. All right. I mean, I love the vision. I love the idea. I mean, all great picks. I don't know. I'm not putting my money on a reappearance, but you'll be rich come Monday if so. Kyle, what you looking forward to? Also,
Every
shout out to the
nigga
tag team,
is
by
a
the way.
star. That's what I want to hear.
Ooh,
I want to
okay,
hear Wesley's
vocals.
Theory. I want to hear that intro so bad.
Ooh.
I want him low key to start the show with that.
Now we
'Cause,
got
like,
to censor 2 words in.
Well, yes, because actually every nigga is a star, and I think Kendrick needs to remind America of that when we get on that Super Bowl stage this weekend. So yeah, Wesley's Theory is what I want to hear. I feel like he's gonna do all his hits, and I like all the hits. So like, whatever he picks,
Like,
I'm gonna be
can't go
fine
wrong.
with. But if I had to pick one, I would love to hear Wesley's Theory.
Okay. I know it's gonna be a hit filled thing, so I'm not really trying to go too far in the deep cut bag. I just want to make sure I want DNA to be up in there.
Yeah.
And I think in particular, he always seems to do something special with All Right. And I think, look, given the climate, given the political situation, given how a lot of people are feeling, All Right has really been one of those eternal anthems that has always turned up. So I think when he has the moment to do something big with that song on a very big stage at a time like this in a city like New Orleans, like to really remind people, literally, we going to be all right. I think there really could be something, even more special than all the times we've seen it before. Really turn that song into something that solidifies its status and strength as an anthem. So
That sounds like a good outro song, no? Like, we're gonna be all
I
right.
think. Go ahead, 'cause I know you got points on the outro.
No, because I was just like, I've been trying to think like, what did he perform when he came out for Dre, and will he double dip? So I looked it up, and he did Mad City and All Right when he came out for
right, the
Dre's
Super
Super
Bowl
Bowl
in LA.
halftime.
So would he
So
double
I'm
dip?
wondering if he would double dip, and I'm like, but I feel like he would double dip with All Right. I feel like you can't not do All Right. I feel like he can get away with not doing Mad City, even though I
What was the
love
other-
it.
Oh, Mad
Well, for an
City.
LA
Yeah.
kind of, that like an LA crowd, LA moment.
But it's like he got
Yeah,
other
but-
LA anthems off the new album that he probably would do.
Yeah.
I feel like instead of Mad City, but like All Right, I feel like he would double dip with All Right.
Well, I'm saying with Mad
Yeah.
City, he would have, that makes sense to do it in
Yeah,
LA.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
you
yeah.
can leave it off since it'll be in New Orleans, perhaps.
Oh, you guys are
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
He did start with Mad City, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Also, he wouldn't do that again. My prediction is probably not going to happen because he wouldn't do that again.
Oh, you know what I want? King's Dead. Bring out a feature and do King's Dead and like that. I like
my
Okay,
that.
come on, J-Rock
Hell
and everybody.
yeah.
Yeah.
King's Dead was a banger.
So we
I
think
feel-
Not Like Us is going to actually, he's going to do it, right?
I think he'll wink at it or not. I think it'll be an instrumental, like maybe a marching band.
And let the
something.
crowd like sing
Something like that. I
Okay.
don't know if he would.
That's what I kind of
You know.
wanted from like the jump.
But
I don't know. After this week,
That's the thing. I feel like after the Grammys, he could literally just look at that set list and be like, "All right, fuck it,
Not Like Us
throw it
7
in,"
times. Let's
go. I don't know if it's maybe it was Carl. I know some other discussions I've had. People just sort of around the office think that All the Stars, since SZA will be
Oh
there.
yeah,
All,
that should be the
all the
closer,
stars would make
yeah.
a good
Of course,
closing
yeah.
song. Just sort of.
And we'll probably get a Chadwick tribute of some sort when they do that also.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So he got a lot of options.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly,
I'm excited.
check there.
Do we think he's gonna extend the olive branch to Wayne and invite him as a guest, or anyone from NOLA for that matter?
People said that is absolutely not gonna happen. There's a 0% chance because obviously his affiliation with Drake and it just looks crazy. But to me, I really feel like it can happen, and that would be such a cool moment, like in New Orleans, and all the hoopla, but then ending it like this and being like, surprise, Lil Wayne is performing anyway. I would be a fan of it. I want that to happen.
That's really up to one little Wayne to figure out what he's gonna do. So, I mean, of course, it's New Orleans. It's sort of once in a lifetime. So I think it'd be great if it happens. But if it doesn't, I think everybody can understand why.
Lil Wayne performs Jello's
So.
Tweaker remix.
Yo,
Oh
debut
my
the
God.
Tweaker
Halftime
remix.
show.
Yo,
Hell yeah!
Okay,
No, it's
all right, yeah, okay.
I love the song, but I don't
Look,
do that.
we start with Rihanna. We getting 2 pie in the sky. We ask
Pie in
him-
the sky is
There's only,
Jello.
like-
We literally asking for all the stars. So we not look at that.
There's only
See
like
that?
13 precious minutes.
That's
We're
right.
not
That's
trying-
right. You
We're
gotta
not
be in
trying to
and
hear
out,
Jello.
so.
13.
All right, well, we'll see what happens this Sunday at the Super Bowl halftime show. Real quick, it's going to be the Eagles and the Chiefs. Predictions?
Eagles.
Anybody?
Fuck the Chiefs.
I really, really, really want the Eagles to win, but I think the Chiefs are going to win. But
Well,
I'm rooting for the Eagles.
It will be a big night
I'm
either
with
way. Obviously, people will want Jalen, Saquon to get that first ring, go for, the revenge that the team had, and it's fallen short a couple of years ago. Or, of course, if the Chiefs win, first time we'll ever see a three-peat in the Super Bowl. In the Super Bowl era. So something good is going to happen either way. We just going to root for a good game. So make sure y'all tune in for the Super Bowl this weekend. We, of course, will be back next week to recap the halftime show and everything else that happens in music between now and then. So until next week, thank y'all for keeping us here with Billboard Unfiltered.